we think it's beneath us to have adult level conversations with our children. Obviously, there's certain things we're not going to say. There's certain things I'm not going to say to Makai, but I'm going to talk to him as if he's a little person, a little adult.
What's going on, y'all? Welcome to another edition of Dads on Purpose, the podcast, man. I'm your host, Josh Ashford, man. And as always, I got the big homie, man, Kevin Brigance, Mr. KB. What's going on, man?
What's up, baby?
I don't.
Yes, sir.
I don't even know if they caught my intro and what I said because I was sitting here laughing. Y'all, man, Kev, we really got to put out the before clips. So
man. Yeah.
I mean, we can't say them all because you know what I'm saying. I'm saved, but you know what I'm saying. The Lord's still working on me because you know what I'm saying. We talking about some things, but I'm just like I don't know if that came across clear, and we're not reshooting this one. We got. DJ inspires all for the back for the fourth time, first time, third time. What? How many times is this for you?
I don't know.
I know. You and Terry, y'all got a battle going on about who can be on here the most.
They battling for who go take the spot.
Terry is convinced that he is the honorary third member of this show.
Well, he's been on 3 times, I think now. Mm-hmm. And so this is 4 for me. So I mean,
hey, all I'm saying is
competition.
You know what I'm saying? DJ put me on with a fatherhood, you know what I'm saying, giveaway swag, you know what I'm saying, got my brand out there. Terry is asking me to buy him a mic.
Okay, there we go.
He was like, "Yo, I'm gonna get somebody to sponsor me one." But that's what happens when you get 10,000 followers. You know what I'm saying, like
that's what happened when you blow up.
I don't know. Does he have 10,000 followers?
So he just don't know what, DJ?
I was gonna say he just doesn't know the proper protocol for the honorary guest, right? Like the host, like we do stuff like that. Like, yo, I'm gonna hook your brand up. I got this thing. We got some fathers, some dads, right? He don't know. He don't know the protocol.
I don't even know the protocol, so it don't really matter. Yeah, we just out here. DJ, catch us up, man. It's been a minute. If you guys follow DJ Inspires All on Instagram or whatever, if you don't, you're trash. But if you do, you know he's been MIA for a minute. Like his post ain't really been posting and popping because he been doing some things, and I don't even know what he's doing some things, but I know he's doing some things.
I know he got some stuff going on.
I appreciate y'all.
He not on the gram, but he in these streets.
Oh my gosh. Don't be having these people thinking I'm out here wilding out. Look,
Kev got him out here.
Everybody.
DJ a pusher. You know he in LA. He got that Mexican stuff. That Mexican kush. In Whittier. Ain't no black people in Whittier.
There is black people in Whittier, yes. First of all, can I let the people know where I've been? Hi, everybody. I always appreciate the opportunity to be on the Dads on Purpose podcast. This is DJ Johnson here. And to Josh's point, I have not been posting to my DJ Inspires IG page. I've kind of turned that back into like a personal page. My focus, though, has been the DJ Inspires parenting page. So that page has been blowing up. So if you are not following that, it's linked to my DJ Inspires.
I'm about to go check that, but let's keep talking.
Go to it. But on there, I just post different parenting related content, videos, mostly just me saying some very prophetic thoughts around parenting to get people riled up and have, but the crazy thing is, some of my posts have been shared by some bigger parenting pages, and so I literally
your interaction on here is crazy.
It's crazy, dude. I've gone from like I don't even know, like 400 followers or something crazy like that to like I'm at 1,500, pushing 1,600 followers on that in the last month and a half.
Yes, sir. Congratulations.
Thanks, man. It's been crazy. So you just been building that. My Facebook page, which is a new thing over the last couple months, that thing is almost at like 3,000 likes. I think it has 3,000 followers.
Nice.
So it's crazy, dude. Like I just couldn't fathom a year ago when I first was, digging deeper into the parenting game, I guess you could say. I couldn't fathom now the impact, the influence, a lot of the parents.
What does that mean though when you say digging deeper into the?
Good point. Yeah. So just to let people know, I've been working with parents for years. Like, I think 2014, 2015 was the first year that I got into working with parents, and I work with parents of high school students, teenagers, and so I've been in the game. But the IG world didn't know that. I would post parenting stuff every now and then, but like people didn't necessarily know that.
Yeah.
As Kai makes his appearance.
What up, Kai?
Can you at least say hi to the people?
No, my man got that iPad blowing full blast. Dad, you talking too loud. I can't hear Ryan.
Oh my goodness.
That's how we do at Dads on Purpose podcast. Hey. We bring the kids in.
Hey, I'm no shade or nothing. I'ma just call it on us. Don't nobody watch our YouTube page anyways. It's all podcasts anyway, so they can't see you anyways.
Gotcha. Okay, good. But yeah. So I just over the last year just got in tune with a lot of different parenting pages and just really leaned in on like, I think people appreciate my insight on parenting, having worked with teenage parents now in the perspective of being a parent of a toddler, and just having the childhood and knowing what the wrong way essentially to do parenting, like just putting that all together. I think people are really resonating with it, and it's such a blessing.
That's what's up.
But what do you? Oh, well, he just put it on mute though. But I was gonna say, what do you said? You said the wrong way, but man, your story is unique because you're in foster care, but you're in foster care with your own family though.
Yeah. So that's
not typical.
Yeah,
absolutely.
They call it kinship, and I for a long time didn't acknowledge that I was in foster care because I'm with extended family. Like there's and although it was for the most part better than the situation that I was out of going into the foster care system, it had its drawbacks. There was one family in particular that I went to that initially was a foster family. And I didn't discover until I lived there that they were actually relatives of my biological dad. And so, I'm in the system, like you said, with family, but, some of us have some traumatic childhoods. We won't fully acknowledge it because, our parents will be feeling some type of way, but hitting, beating, telling our kids to stay in their place, not acknowledging their feelings, the science says that that's detrimental. And so being able to be in a position to help parents do it differently, have conversations around it. Like I'm arguing with people all the time, but it's just, for me, it's for the greater good of our kids deserve better. They need better. As my son.
Speaking of, Kev, go ahead.
No, I love it. I love everything that DJ. DJ is our boy, man, and I've been following DJ and with DJ for he's like, I gotta go get this kid.
He didn't put himself on mute and then got up. All you see is the Lego track in the background. I'm sorry, the Hot Wheels track. Is that tape on the door?
Yeah, man.
Is he covering up a hole?
That's that. Oh, he knocked a hole in the door. I need to cover it up.
So he was playing with the tape, and that's how it ended up.
But
closet door.
But like I was saying, man, I've been following DJ, man, and not only is his parenting, DJ parenting site going off, man, he's got some community stuff that has been taken off. That I want DJ to kind of share a little bit, and then also, see, DJ don't know, man, he just be hiding all the jewels. Also, DJ got like some parenting classes, virtual parenting classes that he's been working on, so that people who have heard him, have heard his message. He has some other tools that'll be coming out here pretty soon. I'll be in those videos.
How much them parenting courses cost?
We ain't talking about it. I know in the past I've charged like $40-$50 or something like that.
$40-$50?
It's just come on. First of all. the people that I have been connected with recently that are doing parenting course, I personally have paid for a $300 parenting course recently in the
Exactly.
last couple of months.
Yeah.
And so, but I really have a passion for connecting with the parents that ain't searching for no parenting course.
Absolutely.
That have said in their minds, you ain't about to tell me how to parent. Like, those are the parents I ultimately really want to get to eventually, because they're the ones that are contributing to the generational curses that we have, all these different things that are keeping, let's be real, our Black kids stagnant and in a certain place because of what we do in our homes.
Absolutely.
By stifling their ability to speak up for themselves, to advocate for themselves, to feel feelings. Like, we don't realize that we're hindering our kids from being their best selves.
Yeah, but here's my question on that though. So yes, that's who you want to reach. Yeah. But at the same time, I feel like the transformation is a premium product, and that demands a premium price. Yeah. And if you still want to serve them in some capacity, you could give it to them for free. You know what I mean? or at a discount price. But like the expectation is like, yo, like this is a certain price. Bro, I just had this conversation, and I know we're getting away from where Kev wanted to go, but I just had this conversation with Sarah. She was on the show. Sarah Schroeder. She's on here. She's a business coach. And man, we went to breakfast, bro. And so like she's a business coach, but I'm one of her business coaches.
Yeah.
And so we were just talking, man. And by the end of it, she was just like, "You've literally changed my entire business." I was like, "I'll invoice you later." And, and she was just like, "No," she's like, "Oh, I'll pay it." And I was like, "I'm not invoicing." I was like, "Bro, I charge $500 a session." And she was like, "Wait, what? You charge $500 a session?" I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "I'm not doing anything for less than $500. Like, I know the value I bring. If you want me to assist you and consult you, it's $500. She was like, "I charge $150. I said, "That's your first problem." I was like, "The people that are talking to you, they're not taking it serious. Like, $150, bro. That's some off-brand J's. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I'm saying? But when you start trying, and I learned this from the homie Marquell, because he's just like, he's like, the only difference between a high ticket price and a low ticket price is you asking for it. Because at the end of the day, if somebody wants something, if they have a pain, if they have a need, they're going to pay whatever price they have, like whatever price your price is. And so those parents that are sitting there that are part of the problem, they're not going to pay for your price, whether it's $45 or $500, if they don't see that there's a problem that they need to fix. So it's like the only difference is the price that you ask for. And I mean, I don't got no problem asking for prices. And she was just like, "Oh wow." I was like, yeah, $500 for a session. I charge $2,500 for a website. I accept PayPal and Venmo.
Yeah, either one.
But the whole point in that is just like, bro, I'm like, yo, like, you're undercharging. Like, I don't. Yeah. No, I think so many of us, bro, we get caught up in and Kev's guilty of it too, because Kev, no shade, no nothing. I know Kev likes to do the work in the church. He likes to work with the youth and things like that. But bro, something got to pay for you to do all that stuff. You know what I mean? Like, we want to do community work so bad, but I'm not going to work with you to do community work because it's charity. And if you're doing charity for me, I can't use you in the future. It's okay to do free. It's okay to do free. Bro, Dave Shan said this. He's like, it's okay to do free, but do free with an intention. Like, bro, okay, hey, I'm gonna help you out with this, but like, here's what I'm hoping to get. Okay, cool. So down the road, we could partner on something.
And I think Kev. I think that's where community and business kind of collides and wreckage happens, because business, we understand.
All right, Kev. I know you're making a point, bro, but my cat is outside and I'm sitting right next to it's a full window door, and she just pulled up and she just staring at me. She walked away. But anyways, go ahead, Kev.
But community, I think that's where business and community collides, because so many people that's a community heart person, we recognize that the people that we're trying to serve, they're not going to pay. It's going to be free because they're not going to pay for it. But they're not going to value it if it's free anyways. But we need to charge them to have some ownership in it. And then outside of that, then we say, okay, how do I take this product, but then I market it as a business to bigger entities, and as well as still be able to charge a discounted price for this particular group. And that was something that I had to learn because nobody ever sat down. Like Josh, you talking to me about business, that just doesn't convert over to community leadership and community development. Because yes, even though that, I need to make that profit and I need to make that the fortune so that I can provide more services to more people. I just know that these certain people, they already not go care. They already, I gotta do the work to get them in. But then I also have to provide say, hey, I need you to buy into this, because with that $50, all you're gonna do is go buy something that you don't want. So here, I'm gonna let you pour into this, and that's your financial commitment. Now you're gonna get the value of what you're needing. So it has been, because that was just a growth spurt for me as a community partner, because my heart is community, but the finance, man, they talk about fundraising and all that, man.
Oh, but hold on, let me put it to you to both of y'all this way, man. Dave Shands, right? I bring him up all the time because he's one of my I've paid him thousands of dollars. I've invested a lot of money into coaching, and I'm not ashamed of it. Like, bro, like you can't charge somebody for something that you ain't paid for yourself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so, like, I charge for coaching. I've invested a lot of money. I've 4 figures. Yeah, big 5 figures into coaching. But Dave Shands, he said something, man, and he was just like, bro, he's like, I love teaching entrepreneurship to kids. He's like, but I don't charge kids. He's like, I charge adults that want to be entrepreneurs. And that allows me to go into the schools. I don't charge schools to teach entrepreneurship in schools. And from the adults that he charged, that allowed him to open a nonprofit so that when he goes in and talks to these schools and they come up with an idea, he can give them a loan. But in that, he did it for this girl. I think she was just like 10 or something like that. She wants to start a t-shirt line, and he helped her out. And I think he told her probably 50 times, he's like, I need my money back, so that they can understand that, like, yo, I need you to make money, not necessarily for him, because the money that they make and give back to him goes right back into the nonprofit so that he can fund other entrepreneurs. And so the whole thing is like, yo, like, I don't charge kids, but I charge adults. And so it's like, yo, like, DJ, like, how can you take your programs, you know what I mean, and market them so that there's a profit there, so that you can go help those people that need it, like, for lack of a better word, that need it the most. The people that usually need it the most are the people that don't know they need it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Good point. And as you were schooling me and just reminding me, like, I think the option that I can always go and have kind of gone down already is the schools. The schools can provide this and give it to these parents free of cost on the parents' end, but the school is paying for it. And so that has really been the route that I've gone. So with the course, I've just kind of been back and forth with how to go about it. But you're right. Like, I need to, one, put the work up there, because there is a work. And my time is valuable. And so, but it's especially with Kevin being attached to it. So, like, that's definitely a conversation. But to the greater, I think, idea of this conversation that we have, I know people probably listening, like, what's happening? Like, where are they going with this? Like, we are having these conversations really late in our lives. These conversations need to be happening with our kids.
Yeah.
And this is the thing that I said this before, like, the problem that I have with the old school parenting way is that we're not having certain conversations because we can't even get past behavior, discipline, punishment. We're so stuck on making sure that we make our kid obedient that we can't even have conversations around purpose. Tell me why your boy ain't had a conversation about purpose until I was in my 20s.
Yeah.
Stop.
Yeah.
Like, as parents, we need to be having conversations about purpose, about personality.
I need you to help me out on that conversation, because I don't know what that means. Like, I mean, no. And I'm not even being funny. Like, how does that conversation go with Kai about purpose?
So obviously, with our kids being younger, like, it's not going to be as elaborate as it is.
No.
Okay. So I was going to say, so how does that conversation go with Kendall? Kendall's about to be 13.
Oh, bro.
She is 13.
Oh, bro. We talk about purpose every day. Every day you wake up and see that guitar that I bought you, that piano that you got, because purpose, we don't. I think when you start talking to your kids about purpose, you have to understand that purpose is just identifying the gifts in your kid, developing those gifts, and making sure that they're applying those gifts to something good, whether it's good for developing for them or good for the community. But you have to develop the gifts and the talents in your kids, and then you have to put it towards something, right? Kendall has always loved to sing. Kendall has always had voice lessons. We've always tried to make sure she has some kind of piano lesson, but we're talking to her while we're putting her in those piano lessons, while you're getting that guitar lessons, while you're getting those drum lessons. And that's just to build up the talents and the gifts that you have. She came in here earlier before we came on the podcast. She has a speech to give. And so she came in here and she gave the worst whack speech that you could give, right? And I said, Kendall, if you want to be a performer, I'm looking at the Rubik and you're on the 1. I need you to hit a 3 and a 4. So not that you can pass, but you are a performer. So every time I'm talking into her, I'm talking into her purpose. I'm talking into her gifts. I'm talking into her talents so that she won't ever forget who she is and the things that she's capable of doing. So to me, from my point to you guys, you talking purpose is identifying what those things that they're good at. Oh, Kai, I noticed. I see you. I see that hook. I see that hook. Or, hey, baby girl, I seen you in dance. I love the way, like, you twirled better than the girls that you twirled last week. Or you leaped higher in the sky than you. And like, literally, I did that for Kendall in ballet. Hey, you know what? I noticed your tap move. You're great. And she's great at tap. Does it make sense? So I think you just start speaking into their gifts. You start speaking into their abilities, but you don't only just start speaking into those things. You give them purpose, right? Kendall didn't take off with the music thing until she performed. She's never really performed in front of people. She got an opportunity to take her gifts and the things that she's good at, and she had a stage to perform. Now that opened up even more stuff for her to do. So I think when we're speaking into their purpose and we're developing their purpose, I call it speaking to their gifts and their talents, pulling those gifts and talents out, and then providing a platform for them to actually apply and use those gifts and talents. And so they can see how they can function and use those things in the world.
I'm really curious though, man. And I'm just like, when we're looking at purpose for our kids, and DJ, you could jump in if you want to. Like, when we're looking at it like that, he didn't turn his camera off, he didn't turn his mic off, he didn't he said, you know what, I'm about to leave. I'm done with y'all. Terry could be the number 3 host on this show. I don't even care no more. Like, did he turn his camera off because he's not positive parenting?
I'm just messing.
He didn't put a picture up. Anyways, I don't know what's going on.
It froze on me for a second. Like, what's going on here?
I don't know what's going on because anyway. But Kev, everything you're talking about when we're feeding into our kids, when we're pouring into them, things like that, and trying to help them figure out their purpose. Like, is it us trying to tell them like, hey, this is what your purpose is, or like, well, no, because I'm thinking about Jocelyn. She's about to be 3. You know what I mean? Like, like she loves to tap, or not tap. She loves to do dance. She loves to do gymnastics. But at the same time, she's 3, so I mean, she also likes to eat popsicles too. So it's like.
You don't tell them, you just notice gifts and talents. And I think that's where we fell as, Black and brown people. We never had anybody pull out our gifts and talents unless you were playing sports, unless you were a soccer player, unless you're a football player, unless you're a basketball player. But what about those gifts and talents as singing? What are those gifts and talents as drawing? What are those gifts and talents are writing, speaking? Like, I think we have to understand what our gifts and talents are first, and identifying those in our kids, and then developing those. And they're going to change, bro. But I think our kids are designed and developed in such a way where those gifts and talents are seen earlier in life. And we have to be responsible enough to start capturing those little things, noticing those little things, and then start saying, okay, because see, what happens is, the parent be like, oh, my baby will be a football player. And that's the parents
trying to live through your kids.
Or that's the parents' dream for their kid, not recognizing the kid's gifts and talents. And so they push their kids through football as a football player, but maybe they need to be the football statistician. Maybe they need to be a football coach. Maybe they need to be a football manager, but they're not a football player. And I think oftentimes we take what we wish we would have did as kids, or what we hope our kid to be, instead of saying, okay, who is our kid? Yes, bro, your kid is going to change from 1 to 3, 3 to 5, 6 to 8, 9 to 13, right? They're going to change.
I ain't ready for all that.
But your goal as a parent is not just to make sure they have a place to live, some food, clothes, and able to get, but you're one of your major responsibilities is making sure you help identify your gifts and talents of your kid. And you may not even know what that gift is. Maybe you don't know how to draw. That's not your point. That's why they got what's the word? That's why they have mentors, right? Why? Because I don't know how to sing.
You sure don't. DJ, jump in here, man, because I feel like you was about to say something, but you know I got to stop Kev, because Kev a preacher.
I'm passionate.
Kev up there, you know what I'm saying? He on the pulpit. He used to ain't nobody speaking back to him. So he's like, hey, y'all ain't gonna say nothing? Well, I'm gonna just go ahead and keep going talking now and then. Praise the Lord, saints. I get an amen.
Amen. No, I'm with Kev, but I'll just take it another level of like, yes, it's gifts and talents, but like when you have a gift, when you have a talent, when you're good at something, I am under the belief that it is to be utilized for the greater good of the kingdom, for the greater good of moving our world in a better direction. And so even beyond like noticing that they can sing and different things, like notice traits that they have in terms of, are they helping people all the time? Can they feel other people's emotions? Do they have empathy? Like let's cater to some of those values that you might see in them, and really hone in and help them understand. Like one of the things I love about Kai is like he'll go to the park and be like, hey, want to play with me? Want to be my friend? Like so in tune with other kids and want to play and want to, if somebody falls, he feels some way about that. And I'm like, all good traits, all good things that we should acknowledge about our kids, because this world can be pretty cold. So the more we can inject positivity into the world through our kids and the way that they interact and just their pure, them being pure, it's just something that's just so good. So for me, it's like, as Kev said, like, even when they're young, like just acknowledging those good things, those good traits, those good values that you see in them, and hone in on that. Because that could be a counselor, that could be a therapist someday, that could be a teacher, that could be somebody who wants to help others, wants to do for others. And I talk with a lot of students that go through pain, that go through struggles, that have a hard time. And I'm always talking to them about, look, I am of the belief that we don't go through those things for no reason. Yeah. We don't go through these trials and tribulations just because. It's your pain is to be used for somebody's gain in the future, and to be able to wrap that around their brains and help them understand. Oh my gosh, to help them understand that, like, it shifts the perspective in their minds. They're like, oh yeah, if I could just get through this, I'm going to be able to help somebody in the future. And like, for me, when I work with students, that's what I'm trying to instill in them.
You want to know the beautiful thing about that, though, too? When parents are in tune with their kids and they are paying attention, we're there to help them with their pain. We're there to help them. We could recognize when things aren't right. And I think it's almost heartbreaking, bro. You and I do the same work. And so when you're saying you're talking to kids about their pain, it hurts me, because I'm like, why weren't their parents there to talk to them about their pain? But their parents are so disconnected from their kid. Like, it frightens me to think that Kendall would hurt herself because she couldn't talk to somebody. You know what I mean? Or not. Watch this. Not that she couldn't talk to somebody, but she couldn't even talk to me about what And so I think as we talk about this holistically, right? Not just identifying gifts and talents, but you're now even developing a relationship with them where you will start sensing when something's not right with your kid. Like it amazes me how people say, I did not know. that kid lives in your house 24/7. What do you mean you didn't know? Like, if I don't see Kendall come out this room in 3 hours or shoot an hour, I'm like,
listen,
yo, what's up? What you doing? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm jumping in the bed. I'm interrupting the space because I want her to know that I love her and I care for her. But that's beyond just being a caregiver and a provider. Like, I really want to have a deep relationship with you and understand that, like, not only am I providing for you and supporting you, but I love you too. So I think that's good. Like, when you start having those kind of conversations, because there's something else you said, DJ, and it's like really listening to them and not just in your mind as a parent, just the parent the way you want to parent, like really pulling back and seeing what good characteristics that they have. And it's great because then we have conversations with Kendall, how at school, oh, my friend was having a bad day and I did XYZ. And so now you're able to interact and you know who your kid is. Does it make sense? So that's good, man. That's, hey, y'all.
DJ,
y'all listening to some good stuff.
Do you only I don't want to phrase it that way. What age of kids do you typically work with?
High school students primarily.
Okay.
And at times middle school, or I'll speak to middle schoolers.
I'm just asking because like the questions that you're asking, I'm just like, yo, like what I asked, like, you know what I mean? Like you know what I'm saying? Like a third grader, those type of questions. Because a lot of times with kids, and I guess it's all relative just in general, like once you get into that high school level, like, bro, like you've already been through the gauntlet. I mean, like you needed somebody to talk to in middle school and you know what I'm saying, in elementary. And I think about, you know what I'm saying, like I use my family all the time because I'm an open book. They're not an open book, but that's their problem, not mine. You know what I mean? Like my niece, I look at her and I don't want to say she's trouble, but she hadn't really had a lot of people to talk to. Like, you know what I mean? Like she hadn't had a lot of people to just like open up and care about her and just like, yo, baby girl, like I love you. I care about you. Like this is your worth and things like that. And so the lack of that access has caused a lot of things. And so I'm just like, yo, like what would have been like if someone was having these conversations beforehand? You know what I mean? And so I didn't know if there was someone like you or you that was speaking to younger kids, because it starts at the house. We know that. Yeah. We know it starts at the house. But if it doesn't, like, when do we get involved?
Oh, Kev, let me get real quick, just because I think the biggest mistakes that adults make, parents make, is that there's a power dynamic over our kids, especially when they're younger. And so we think it's beneath us to have adult level conversations with our children. Obviously, there's certain things we're not going to say. There's certain things I'm not going to say to Makai, but I'm going to talk to him as if he's a little person, a little adult. Like we're going to have, I'll ask him about his day and I'm listening and I'm making eye contact and I'm hearing him out. I'm like, oh, really? And I'm acknowledging some of the friends that I've heard him mention, like having conversations with them. A lot of adults feel like it's beneath them to have a conversation with a kid. Like, I'm sure y'all heard that before. Like, I ain't talking to no kid. I ain't, so like, but we literally have to get out of our mind that because kids are kids, like that means something different to us adults. Like they're people. And they're people worthy of our respect, worthy of having conversations with, worthy of them being, I believe we've been kind of talking to Kai in the way that we talk to him since I want to say he could talk, like 1.5, 2, whenever he started using his words. And do you know his vocabulary is like, he be saying, putting sentences together.
Right. I was about to say, that's like Jocelyn, because we did the same thing. And I'm just like, how do you know how to do, or the thing she formulates, bro? Like the other day, the other day we went outside, and I think I told Kev this. The other day we went outside, and everybody's putting on mosquito spray. Everybody's putting on mosquito spray, except for me. So I go back in the house. And I'm like, oh, Jocelyn. I was like, Daddy got bit up by mosquitoes, and she just looks at me and she's like, well. She's like, I told you to put on mosquito spray. Like, I told you. And bro, so then we're just watching TV and we're just sitting on the couch and she just like, we're watching TV. We're not talking. She just looks at me and she's like, I told you to put on mosquito spray. But that's just, you know what I'm saying? Like just the comprehension and the level of conversation. I'm like, yo, like that's a conversation I would have had with Kev. Like Kev would have thrown some shade like that. Like,
Yes.
You're not supposed to be this advanced. You done been here before, little mama. You know what I'm saying?
But medically and doctors, they say like you need to speak to your kid as if they're an adult. And you don't use kiddie terms and kiddie language. And you're supposed to speak to your kids. And so that's why people say that about Kendall. They're like, she speaks so intelligently and she's so smart. Because when we were driving by and she seen a water tower, she said, like, Daddy, what is that? I said, it's a water tower, you know? And then I use that in our vocabulary. Hey, baby, you see that water tower over there? And so now we're having conversations. And I think, you know, we say, when do we start speaking to our kids? Like you speak to your kids as young children, you meet them where they are. And you know what the problem is, we're talking about our kids. We're not talking about the kids, right? We're talking about our kids. So our kids are being spoken to at a level and an understanding that they should be able to comprehend and grow on. What we have an issue with is that you say, yeah, it should be happening in a home. That's true. But if it's not happening in a home, it should be happening in school. It's not happening in school because of, you know, politics and all that good jazz, right? So now it's not happening in school. The next place that the involvement should be happening is in the community. Well, we already know what happened in the community. We don't really have community anymore.
Bro, I live in the hood. Like, even
in the hood,
I'm learning how to get
forget that. The hood was like, bro, the hood was the best place to be. Why? Because when you walked out, you know that your friend John's mom go bust that butt if you step out. Like that's the hood I grew up in. That's why I love it when people say I grew up in the hood, because the hood was the community. The hood was the family. From my experience and perspective, right now, everything.
Yeah, but at the same time, the hood is also like let's keep it 100. Like let's just be real. Yeah, the hood definitely. Is also a lot of misinformed individuals.
Definitely,
I'm not saying they right, wrong, and they're different, but I'm saying as far as how to advance us and the application of that, you know what I'm saying? People say knowledge is power. Knowledge is not power. It's applied knowledge is power.
But that's our fault. That's all.
Yeah. No. That's what I'm saying. You was just like, yo, but the hood is the best. But the hood, when I say that, you got community. But I'm like, you got.
But when I say that, I say that sometimes because
and DJ sitting there like, oh, what did I do?
Man, I'm processing.
But I say that because sometimes I think we dump on the hood when there's so many good things that have come out of it too. You know what I mean? There's so many, like we talked about Houston, and I had to re-listen to that and think about like. I realized how much I got out of that growing up in that experience that I would never get rid of. And that's things that I got out of Sunnyside in the hood that nobody would ever take away from me. That was good for me. So I'm just saying, like, if we're feeling at home, now we're feeling in the schools, now we're feeling at the communities, and we're feeling in the churches. It's kind of hard for us to pull everything together. So we have to have individuals like DJ and myself who's willing to go in and talk. And when we're talking about this, was like, when is the proper time to start speaking to our kids? Bro, the things that we did in college, they're doing in middle school.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna let that sink in. The things that we did in college, they're doing in middle school because the people that were in college having kids at 16, 17, 18, now their parents and their kids are coming up, but there's no barriers. There's no... You know, so, and I think that's the issue we have with kids today is just that there's just no proper barriers. And we talked about this too, man. When your kids come in, man, the TikTok about the dirty butt. Like,
what?
Come on, you seen that TikTok. You seen it.
I'm not on TikTok.
It's on Instagram.
I'm on TikTok, but I'm not like.
But it's on Instagram. It's on Instagram too. They're doing the reels on Instagram.
No, I follow 100 people.
Well, but it's like, you know, you got to go this person didn't take a shower. You know, the butt cracks stink. And so I was just flipping through and I was like, oh, that's cool. But then you got a 5, 7-year-old, 8-year-old, same language, you know, and it's like, come on, where's the boundaries? And so we have to create boundaries. So I
need to go watch this TikTok now.
Yeah,
you didn't explain nothing. to
You
me.
did it really.
I didn't do it justice. I didn't do it justice.
You did. So it goes. It's a voiceover. It's like it's not like one of those voices from like ABC Kids, Josh. Like,
Yeah.
So it's like, there she is. That's something that doesn't wipe his butt in the shower or something.
Oh.
Like so the voiceover is doing it and it points to somebody and they're like, oh, what the heck? You talking about?
Gotcha. Okay, now I get it.
But it goes back. So it goes back to the boundaries. Like we really have to set boundaries. But since we don't have boundaries, when we go into these schools, it's like I'm talking to a fifth grader on a high school level because he knows so much. You know what I mean? So it's very difficult. Like when we talk about parenting, it's easy to talk about us and our kids, but I think the kids that we definitely are scooping up and trying to help and save, man, they've got so much exposure to things that are unhealthy for them.
Yeah. But and then as a parent, how do you navigate that? Because you're not used to it yourselves, and you probably as a parent don't censor yourself or
I think that's the issue.
Dealing with it in a healthy way as well. So it's tough.
I think that's the issue.
I don't think we make any, like, it's not a secret that we acknowledge that parenting is hard and it's tough, right? Like it's challenging. It's hard. But you know what's funny? Like people will say it's hard and that's why they feel like they need to spank their kids. And it's like, no, it's harder to not spank our kids, to withhold that, to want to parent in a different, better way. That's what's hard. When you spank your kid, that's easy. You taking the easy way out. Like, let's just be real.
Bro, I was talking to Troy about this the other day. No, sorry. I was talking to Nicole because now they share an Instagram page and I don't know who I'm talking to.
That's right. I forgot about that. Yeah.
But no, I was talking to Nicole about it and I was just like, people, like you said, people say parenting is hard. And I'm like, bro, I was like, it's hard because people be in their feelings. Like when you really think about it, like my 3-year-old, there's a reason she's having a tantrum.
Yeah.
And so me spanking her is easy. Like that's the easy way for me to take it out. And it's not even about her. It's about me just not wanting to do my job and figure out what the hell is going on with her.
Now you going down some lanes.
We about to go down the wrong rabbit hole, but I'm not about to go there. I'm about to get us out of here. How
you gonna open up that can of worms and just be like, okay, we gotta go?
Man,
because I know I'm gonna let DJ get in here because DJ want to get in here because I can't say that and not let DJ in here because he's like, oh, I see him. He about to spin the Hot Wheels in the background, just like, hey, we about to go. But no, seriously, man, that is the biggest thing. Like parenting is hard. Like real talk, it is hard.
Yeah,
but we make it harder on ourselves when we don't want to do the work.
Yeah,
because for a lot of us, bro, like we're first generation, quote unquote, doing it better. You know what I'm saying? I think every generation has tried to do parenting better. You know what I mean? To like. My grandmother, she was born in 42. So like, obviously things was going on 42, like was way different. Like my grandpa used to make my brother and my uncle sleep outside on the patio and he would throw them outside by the ear and give them a pillow and say, sleep on the porch. Like, okay. My uncle, he doesn't make his kids do that, but he might do, you know what I'm saying, some similar things differently. So now when my cousins, when they have kids, they might, you know what I'm saying? Like we're all getting better, but I think like, our generation has drastically taken a large step. And so it's like, yo, like you have to do the work. Like, it's not okay just to do like, oh, a step above. Like, no, bro, you got to take that big, long 3-stepper up the stairs. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what I think. And that's my 2 cents, but go ahead, DJ.
No, man, you said it, man. I was just thinking this other day, I think I might've posted. I'm like, I used to think that I was doing it better because I didn't hit or basically didn't hit my child. Like, oh, I'm good. I didn't hit my child. And it's like, no, bro, like parenting is unlearning. Parenting is showing restraint. Parenting is modeling on a consistent basis. Parenting is like keeping your ish together, co-regulating, self-regulating yourself, showing your child how to self-regulate, like having real conversations around
Yeah.
like to your point, you said we parents, I think, used to look at tantrums and like, they're terrible twos. And I hate the names that we put for things.
Yeah.
Terrible
Yeah, me
twos.
too.
Then we name
Dramatic
teenager
threes
years
and-
as crazy. Yeah, like it's like if you really did the science, if you did the research, you would know like at 2, there's a certain level of independence that their child is trying to insert in their life. Like you think it's terrible, but it's really part of their development. Like,
Yeah.
and then when they get to this age, it's part of their development. And when they're a teenager, their brain is rapidly developing. So they got all these different things happening. They're highly emotional. And it's like, and it don't take too much time to research this stuff. But like you said, people don't want to do the work. It ain't no book or nothing, but there's plenty of books on parenting. And you can do
what's
so much
what's
research
after
on it.
3 so I can know? Because right now I'm in the
You
thick
good.
of I'm being
Don't worry.
independent. Like, you know what I'm saying? And it's bruh, and it really like you just said, man, like understanding where your child is.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what it's
And
that's
like she's really in this like no or just full independence. Like she usually get like my wife puts her to bed and she'll usually give me a kiss before she goes to bed and we'll be like, hey Jocelyn, you want to give daddy a kiss? She's like, no. She's like, do you want to give me a high five? She's like, no. I was like, okay, I love you. Go night. I'll see you later. Just you know what I'm saying, respecting her choices. Some people was like, oh, y'all real progressive over here. And I'm just like, are we? Or are we really just like are we helping to raise, you know what I'm saying, kids that aren't just acceptant of physical, you know what I'm saying? Like
obedience.
Right. I think we mistaken the independence for responsibility. It's great that you want to be independent, but are you like you need to be independent for your stuff? Like pick up your toys, like those things that they can do at their age and that they can participate in their age. So I think one of the biggest things that I realized as a parent was it's not about independence; it's about responsibility. So they want to be in control of something. Why can't they be in control of cleaning up their room at 2 years old? Like they can do it. It's just that we don't want to say, oh, you got to clean up all them. Well, take some of the toys away. You know what I mean? Like I think we have to adjust because I think the hardest thing when you guys were talking about parenting and how hard parenting is, I think the hardest thing about parenting was consequences. Like what are the consequences when they do wrong? When they do wrong, what's the consequence? And so we always think parenting is hard when we have to implement a consequence or that the kids get in trouble or the kids is acting out. But when the kid is acting or wanting to be independent, give them something to be independent of. Like give them a chore in the house that's theirs to be independent for. When the kid says no, and I take a lot of my stuff from Love and Logic, but when the kid says no, I'm sorry, baby. I need you to do this right now, and you can have a choice. I love that you use that, Josh. When I sent Kendall to Houston, the first time she went to Houston, she was like, don't I have a choice? And my mom and them, you ain't got no choice in this house, right? But our kids need to have healthy choices with boundaries. There's that word again, right? I said boundaries. So you could choose A, B, or C because that's the boundary I've given you. Now, if you don't want to do any, if you can't choose, then I'll choose one for you. And then now, but you gotta now you have a choice.
Bro, you can literally like 3x easier your life by giving your child choices. Like when Jocelyn doesn't want to brush her teeth, my wife does it because again, she's in this independent stage where right now she's really attached to my wife. And like I try to participate, but I'm like, okay, I got the baby. Like, you know what I'm saying? You do that. And so rightfully so, my wife she gets the bulk of it. And so she gets flustered. You know what I mean? Like she'll be like, yo, I'm tired. Like this every day dealing with this. And so she'll be there not wanting to brush her teeth. And I'll be like, hey, Jocelyn, I'll be like, do you want mama to brush your teeth, daddy to brush your teeth, or do you want to do it yourself? And she's like, I'll do it. And then she'll brush her teeth. But before then, she's just like, I don't want to brush my teeth. I'm not going pee-pee. I'm not, you know what I'm saying? Like she's all these things, like everything you want me to do, I'm not doing them because you're not giving a choice and you're just telling me to do them. Yeah. And I'm like, yo, like, if you just give your child choices, Like, I'm not saying that it's always going to work out. I'm not going to say that it's always going to be it's just going to be smooth. But the chances of you getting what you want, like, that's the whole thing. Like, we want them to do a certain action.
Yeah.
They're playing a game. We got to know the rules. Like,
but you know what's crazy to me is we felt the same way growing up. We got tired of people telling us what to do. We got say what?
I don't remember.
Wow. I did. I remember some of my growing up. And that's what I don't understand. I don't understand how as we become adults, we forget how we were as teenagers in middle school. Like,
I remember middle school and teenager. I was a handful and a half. I'm just talking about I don't remember as a kid. I don't,
that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah. No, teenager. Oh, I was hot trash. Anyways, speaking of hot trash, I want to change the subject and then we're gonna get out of here. But because DJ was about to say something. What do you want to say? Save that for the final thought.
No, I was talking to Kai because he keep opening the door.
Speaking of hot trash, DJ, I know you saw this because I posted it on IG, bro. And is this trash or not, Kev? My wife picks up my daughter from school today. My wife walks in. She's got a form. The form, it's got pictures on it. It was picture day at school today. Bro, ain't nobody tell us nothing. Nobody sent us no, we ain't get no text. We ain't get no email. There wasn't no flyers at the school. Like, I dropped her off. They didn't say nothing. Oh, man, you look cute for picture day. No. Baby girl didn't have her hair did. You know what I'm saying? She wore shit. I could have coached her up a little bit. Like, hey, when they say smile, don't go like this. Bro, the picture out, Kev, I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna post them on all the social media. Like, the pictures that she took are like, and so like,
I can't believe they did that.
Bro,
they give us like 2 weeks heads up before his picture day.
I mean, we only been there 2-3 weeks, but like, is that trash or not? Kev, what's that? Let me see that picture.
Y'all see all them pictures, man. Bro, them pictures, we like the hair piece be all out here. We're like, dude, you could have at least told her to smooth her hair out, bro. Nah, the picture people for school pictures are just trash, bro. Go ahead.
The school didn't tell us they was taking pictures. We could have did something better to her hair. We could have did something to her hair.
It's trash.
You know these kids be playing, man.
Yeah.
DJ, before we get out of here, man, what you got to say to the people, bro? Like, drop some science, drop some knowledge, and don't drop your prices.
I know I missed y'all. Appreciate y'all supporting the Dads on Purpose podcast. I always enjoy being on it. Shout out to Kai, who I'm sure y'all heard throughout the episode.
Kai,
as he's playing right now. But no, I think if you take anything from this episode, it sounded like we were just chopping it up. But at the end of the day, I think as a parent, you really got to ask yourself the tough questions. I think I just posted this just a little bit ago. Like, start questioning stuff that don't make sense. Mm-hmm. Like, does it make sense to demand respect from your kid and not give respect back to them? Yeah. No, it ain't gonna make sense when they get older as an adult. It shouldn't make sense to them as a kid right now. Does it make sense to make them do things that they are uncomfortable with? In terms of, like, I don't know, putting them in a sport they don't want to play in, or interacting with a teacher that they don't vibe with. Like, just be intentional about feeling and thinking about your child in terms of, like, knowing what they're dealing with and knowing how to, like, just be in tune with them. Like, be more in tune with the kiddos and just start there. Really ask yourself the questions. Ask yourself why. I just saw this stat today and it pissed me off. 70% of parents still practice corporal punishment. Ask yourself why that is. Yeah. Ask yourself who benefits when our kids are punished in this way, when they're obedient, when they listen, when they don't follow rules, when they don't, question the status quo. Who benefits from that? Just ask yourself that. I'll leave you with that.
Hey, sometimes you just got to thump them in the head, man.
See, I'm not dealing with you today.
Do not.
I have not hit my child in a malicious manner badge proudly.
I just hurt my finger. Kev, what you got, man?
Man, I had something.
Hold up. Hey, sorry. Hold on.
Nah, man, what I got for the people, man, is it's just, man, just listen to this podcast. There are so many great nuggets dropped in this podcast. But for the really biggest point is, like, really take some time take some time to not think of yourself as the parent and think of yourself as the person. I think a lot of times we try to parent, but we're broken trying to parent. And when I say we're broken, I'm just not talking about your past. You're broken from your job. You're broken from your relationships. You're broken from, like, I remember growing up and knowing when my mom was upset, like, you don't, like, I'm good. I'll wait till tomorrow. You know what I mean? Yeah. But I challenge parents to leave that at the door. Because if I challenge you, like, when you come home, don't let your home life be so chaotic where you miss the love, the care. Like, because we talk about corporal punishment, DJ. Regardless if these kids get corporal punishment, they will turn back and give that parent a hug. They will turn back and give that parent, you know what I mean? Because they love that parent. But if we come in with a different mind and leaving the chaos at the door and leaving the pain, leaving the hurt at the door, maybe we could change the way our kids are raised. Maybe we could change the way our homes are. Maybe we could change our communities. But we have to take care of ourselves. Until we start taking care of ourselves, will we be able to see our kids live their best lives? That's all I got.
Yo, and y'all know what I need y'all to take care of? I need y'all to take care of them likes, them subscriptions, them comments, them shares, all that good stuff, man. Yo, shout out to everybody that's been rocking with us. Yo, we coming up on a year, man. We coming up on a year. I don't know how many listens we have. I don't know what episode this is, but it's 40 something. It's 40 something. So a year, that's 52. I literally have no idea. So it might be 46, 47, 40. It's 40 something. But the moral of the story is we right there at a year, bro. And yo, like you got to think about it. Like we've literally been putting out an episode every week, and we appreciate you guys rocking with us. Yo, I'm gonna be real. Like there's moments we didn't think we was gonna get an episode. It was Thursday morning. I was like, Kev, what's going on? All right, well, we're gonna record this one tonight. Okay, cool. And it's at the end of the day, it's about making sure that we show up. Yeah, because we know that there are people out there that tune in, that listen to this podcast, and that are not necessarily looking for us for advice, but man, like it's a part of a community, bro. Yeah, and I think that's the biggest part. So we have this community with the Dads on Purpose podcast, just like you have a community at your house, man. And so make sure that community is thriving and intertwined, and run up these likes, man. These podcasts and all these other things, man. We're trying to be number one in the parenting. There ain't nobody in the number one spot in parenting that looks like us. I'm talking black. I'm talking black men. You know what I'm saying? There's a couple there's a couple dad podcasts, but they're all of the Caucasian persuasion. So if you love us,
Mr. Chaz ain't up there. Mr. Chaz is black.
Who?
Mr. Chaz. He does a parenting podcast.
Depends. Well, so it depends on the classification that he puts it in. We in the right classification. You know what I'm saying? We where we supposed to be at, and it ain't none of us in there. But anyways, until next week, y'all, we appreciate you guys. Take care. God bless. We'll talk to you then. Peace.